Hello, friends. Craig Ballard, Locked On Blue Jays, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. In today's episode of Locked On Blue Jays, Toronto Blue Jays head to the Bronx to take on the hated New York Yankees for a 3-game series this weekend. In today's episode, we're going to deep dive and get you set for all 3 games.
You are Locked On Blue Jays, your daily Toronto Blue Jays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I am Craig Ballard. I am Locked On Blue Jays. I am thankful that you've chosen to spend part of your day talking Toronto Blue Jay baseball with me. And for those everydayers who are making Locked On Blue Jay podcast their first podcast listen each day, people like Connor Steven, want to give a shout out and say thank you for that. I see and I appreciate you. For some of our new YouTube subscribers, Roll with the Tide. Now, Roll with the Tide has an Alabama logo as well. So my dad's a huge Alabama fan. So I'm thinking we could get along. Also, Rodolfo and Lindsay Reyes. Definitely want to welcome you guys. Hit that subscribe if you're taking this in on YouTube. If you know a family member, friend, you know, I joke, your Uber driver, you name it. You run into somebody who's a Toronto Blue Jay fan, put the Locked On Blue Jay podcast in their hands. Let's grow this thing together. Yankees hosting the Blue Jays this weekend for a 3-game series. Oh boy, do I have to stop myself every time I'm about to say Yankees? I want to throw in the hated New York Yankees because my God, that's part of Blue Jay fandom, right? That's built into it. You definitely have a hatred for the New York Yankees. We know they're good. We know, there's going to be a certain level of respect for them. And truth be told, this group of Yankees, some of them anyway, right? Like Aaron Judge is not your typical Yankee jerk. Anthony Volpe, some of these younger guys they're bringing up as well. I don't know. It's kind of easy to like them. So of course I don't want to, and I'm not. And I'm not about to. Hopefully that's not an omen. Our Blue Jay helmet just fell behind us. Hopefully that's not an omen, right? Hopefully that's just gravity doing its thing, as not an omen of what we're about to see in this weekend series. Now, what we're going to see in this weekend series kicks off with Yusei Kikuchi on the mound very likely against Domingo Herman. I say very likely. As of now, the Yankees haven't locked in their starters for this weekend, but if you go by the rotation, what has been happening, then it certainly looks like it's going to be Domingo Herman. We know it's going to be Kikuchi for the Blue Jays. So Yusei Kikuchi, believe it or not, he's now 8-7 overall as a Toronto Blue Jay. So he himself has a winning record. Now, of course, the problem, his ERA as a Toronto Blue Jay remains completely unacceptable. It's over 5. Last season, Jose Barrios had a big ERA for the Blue Jays, but they were 23-9 in games that he started. Well, this season, Yusei Kikuchi, big ERA for the Jays at 4.7, but the Blue Jays have won all 3 of his starts. Last time out, I was at that game, thanks to Gameco. We're going to talk about Gameco in a moment here. That was on the Saturday home game against Tampa Bay, and from my seats, I was right in the where the Jays bullpen is in left field, so I had a nice little angle of Kikuchi. Oh boy, he was living on the corners. And if you've been to the new Rogers Center renovations now, and you know what I'm talking about, where I'm sitting in the right field, the left field home run stands there where the Blue Jays bullpen is. The bullpen is right there. They're the raised elevated bullpens. It's right there, right beside you. Could reach out and try to shake Kikuchi's hands when he was warming up, and I could see even in warm up, stuff looked pretty good, and what I liked was it was living on the corners. More of that, please, you say. More of that, please, you say. Kikuchi was great as a rookie at Yankee Stadium, but since oh boy, he's been hit there since then. He's made 2 starts as a Blue Jay last season at Yankee Stadium. Blue Jays lost both of those games. Kikuchi overall at Yankee Stadium last season as a starter, 8 2/3 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, 7 hits, 7 strikeouts, 5 walks. Typical of what we've seen when Kikuchi gets in trouble, right? The command leaves him. He's not pounding the strike zone. He's not filling the strike zone up, right? Now, one of those starts, the second one, if I remember correctly, was actually, you know what? I was going to say decent. It was actually downright good. One of his starts at Yankee Stadium last season was actually downright good. He had 7 strikeouts in that start. That was the one. It's probably too soon. It's probably painful to bring this one up. If you remember that game where Aaron Judge hit the 3-run walk-off against Jordan Romano in the bottom of the 9th, that was a Yusei Kikuchi start. Now, Kikuchi wasn't in line to get that win, so it didn't mess up anything for Kikuchi per se, because that was a back-and-forth game. So by the time Kikuchi had left, the Blue Jays would actually come back, rally, and he wasn't in line for that win. But still, he did pitch well that game. Kikuchi would later last season make a relief appearance as a Blue Jay at Yankee Stadium. That was in a 9-2 blowout Blue Jays victory. He went 1 inning. It was so typical of Kikuchi, right? He went 1 inning, no runs. Well, I hope that's typical of Kikuchi, but what I mean, the typical part was he struck out 2 in that inning, Kikuchi, even when Kikuchi's struggling, he strikes guys out. He gets his share of strikeouts for sure, but he allowed 1 hit and 1 walk. So a lot of base runners in that one, and a lot of traffic and a lot of strikeouts, right? That's what Yusei Kikuchi has been. Now, this season, I think you might say glass half empty for Kikuchi and the Blue Jays in this game. One thing we'll have to keep an eye on anyway is Yusei Kikuchi, for whatever reason, so far this season, he's allowing way more fly balls than he usually does. And we know that Yankee Stadium, that's not the place to be yielding fly balls, right? Yankee Stadium allows home runs. Those fly balls that are outs in so many other stadiums are touch 'em all home runs at Yankee Stadium. So I'll have to keep an eye on that. This season, the Yankees have only faced 3 lefties. They're just 1-2 against lefties. How about Kikuchi versus Aaron Judge? Well, my God, yeah, I don't think you're going to see a pop-up, a ground ball, a fly ball. It's when these two get together, Kikuchi either strikes out Judge, walks Judge, or Judge hits a home run. It's like way more often than not one of those 3 results when it's Kikuchi versus Judge. Now, the Yankees have Giancarlo Stanton out with an injury right now, so they've got Gleyber Torres and DJ LeMahieu hitting in the middle of that lineup. That's not going to be a problem for them. At least on paper, that looks good for them against Yusei Kikuchi, as Gleyber Torres and DJ LeMahieu have owned Yusei. They're 15 for 37 combined. It's a 405 batting average. So this is going to be a bit of a gauntlet lineup for Yusei, the top of it anyway. Even at the leadoff spot, you have 21-year-old rookie shortstop Anthony Volpe. Now, on the surface, you see he's only hitting barely over 200, he's hitting 204 on the season. But over the last week, over the last maybe about 10 days or so, hitting over 300 during that span, and his on-base percentage is almost 500 during that span. He's getting hits, he's getting walks. They wanted him to be that spark, that table setter at the top of this lineup. The last week and a half or so, he's been that. Domingo Herman. I hope you're booing. I'm booing. I can't stand Domingo Herman. He's on the mound for the Yankees. Nothing to like about this guy. Domestic abuse suspension, so right out the gate, we see nothing to like about this guy. Now, Domingo Herman was the one that in his last start, do you remember he was caught with sticky stuff on his hand, told to go wash his hands? Like, just incredible. There was this big, huge conversation. All the Yankees were involved for some reason in this conversation with the umpire. The umpire completely inexplicably let Herman go wash his hands, as if that's part of the rule, right? You get caught with something, you're gone. The only person that was ejected in this whole ridiculous scenario was Rocco Baldelli, the Minnesota Twins manager, because he was just incredulous. He just couldn't believe it. Like, what? Where in the rules does it say anything about a warning? You caught him cheating. Yes, that's an ejection. How is he allowed to wash his hand and continue? Anyway, I could really go off on this. I was really upset. And again, well, I was going to say it's because it was Domingo Herman. No, any Yankee being able to get away with that's going to be upsetting. But of all people to be getting away with cheating, Domingo Herman, please, didn't like that at all. Now, the spin rates after Herman was caught and was forced to wash his hands were noticeably down. So clearly something was up. Now, hopefully his season effectiveness will be off now as well, as umpires are in on him. And I think that umpires were very embarrassed. They had to be very embarrassed by the way that they handled that Herman and the sticky stuff last time out. So I do think they'll have extra eyes, extra scrutiny on him, I hope, in this game anyway. Vlad, Matt Chapman, and Kevin Kiermaier, they've all homered off Herman, so that's good news, but combined they're 6 for 30, so it's been real feast or famine for those 3. Not sure what the Blue Jays will do at second base in this game, in game 1 of this series, the Friday night game, because Biggio and Witt they're each 0 for 6 against Herman in their career. Bo Bichette has struggled at Yankee Stadium, never hit well at Yankee Stadium, but he has homered off Herman at Yankee Stadium, and overall is 3 for 8 with a double and a pair of home runs off Domingo Herman. So hopefully Bo going to continue to his good start to the season at Yankee Stadium, maybe do some of the heavy lifting in this weekend series for the Blue Jays. Now, Herman's curveball has been unhittable. Again, we're going to have to see, was that because of the sticky stuff? Overall, he's generated twice as many strike threes from the curve, more than twice as many strike threes from his curve than his other pitches combined. The curve's been dominant. Again, sticky stuff, I don't know. Let's see how that plays out. Now, his fastball's been getting hit, but I mean, we just saw the Blue Jays in that Astros series. They were awful against the fastball, completely ineffective. So that's going to have to be much better, not just against Herman, in the series in general. Now, Herman had 1 road start this season. He was smashed, but his 2 starts at Yankee Stadium, 11 innings pitched. I beg your pardon. Yeah. 11 innings pitched, 19 strikeouts. Now, again, I'm going to say, how much of that is due to the sticky stuff, hopefully a lot of it, and then hopefully that's been nipped in the bud right now. But I'm going to have to admit, he's been very, very impressive so far at home. Now, I mentioned that I went to that game the other day, that Blue Jays Rays game on Saturday, got my tickets through GameCo. Well, I'm always asked, through Game Time, gametime.co. And I'm always asked, especially for Blue Jay tickets, hey, Craig, my schedule freed up, that something fell off, whatever it is. Now I'll actually want to go to the Blue Jay game tonight. Do you have any links on tickets? We're going to get some last minute tickets. Yeah, gametime.co. That's a fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, theater, whatever near you. Killer deals, last minute tickets, and their best price guarantee. You can stop stressing over tickets and start getting hyped for the fun you'll have. Now, what are some things that I enjoyed about the Game Time app experience? Got great tickets on a flash deal, very easy to buy. I'm not good at things like this, so how user-friendly it was a big deal for me. Just got to the ballpark. It was right on my phone, scanned it, went in. Bob was my uncle, and had a great time, and was so appreciative that the Game Time app was so easy to use. Now, so forget planning months in advance. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. I literally got mine day of. And the Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. So if you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Snag tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Coming right up, let's deep dive game 2 of this Saturday. Of this three-game weekend series, Jays, Yankees, and game 2, the Saturday game, Alek Manoah versus Garrett Cole. Whoa, let's get into it. Craig Ballard, Locked On Blue Jays, back with you. Let's dive into the Saturday game, Toronto Blue Jays at Yankee Stadium. That's the second time that we've been taping this, the Yankees Blue Jays preview, that the Blue Jay helmet has fallen in the background. Oh my goodness. Please do not have that be an omen. My goodness, it's fallen twice. Does that mean we're going to lose at least 2 of these games? I really hope not. I hate the New York Yankees so much. I need a good series, right? I need a good series here from the Blue Jays in the Bronx. Hopefully that's just a funny anecdote, a funny something that happened right in the podcast here. I hope that is not an omen. My goodness. But if things are going to get wonky on a next level, like fisticuffs, it's going to be in this Saturday game. You'll remember, now this is Alek Manoah versus Garrett Cole. Words were exchanged last season between these two pitchers, so this game is going to be spicy for sure. Will we see fireworks, fisticuffs? How animated and action-packed will it get? This one is I believe 1:07 p.m. first pitch, 1:05 p.m. I think the Yankees play their home games on Saturday. 1:05 p.m. Eastern first pitch. It's make your plans on Saturday to watch this game. Now, we would only ever want to have open, honest conversations here at Locked On Blue Jays. So as much as we hate the Yankees, as much as we hate Garrett Cole, we have to acknowledge he has been spectacular. Not good, not great, spectacular so far in 2023. Already 3-0 at Yankee Stadium. He's won all 3 of his starts there. 21 in the third innings pitched at home, 1 run allowed. 1 run allowed. 21 in the third innings pitched at Yankee Stadium, only 8 hits and 6 walks allowed versus 29 strikeouts. Garrett Cole's whip, walks and hits per innings pitched at Yankee Stadium, 0.656. I'm not sure I've ever in my life seen a whip that low. He's simply not allowing hits or walks. He's simply not allowing base runners so far at Yankee Stadium. In any ballpark this season, he has yet to allow a home run. Right-handed hitters have an OPS of 332 against him. I want to say again, I've never seen a number that low before. That's an OPS. Righties, 332. Righties so far this season have 5 singles against Garrett Cole. That's it. Doubles, triples, 5 singles. Lefties OPS is 441. Again, I'm going to say just a minuscule, incredibly impressive number. Lefties so far have 5 singles against Garrett Cole and 3 doubles. That's it. On top of that, overall in his career at Yankee Stadium, he's been awesome. Oh boy. Garrett Cole's worst pitch so far this season, and I have to put worst pitch in quotes because it's his curveball. Opponents are hitting 182 versus the curveball. 182 versus the curveball That's his worst pitch this season. My goodness, he's been absolutely dominant. Against most Blue Jays in this lineup in his career, Cole has been dominant. Brendan Belt, 4 for 18 with 5 strikeouts, so more strikeouts than hits against Cole. Bo Bichette, 6 for 30, 7 strikeouts, so more strikeouts than hits against Garrett Cole for Bo. Matt Chapman is 4 for 27 with 14 strikeouts against Garrett Cole. Pardon me? Holy moly. Kevin Kiermaier, 5 for 34. That's a 147 batting average. 5 for 34 versus Garrett Cole. 17 strikeouts. Holy moly. Kevin Biggio, 3 for 15, 9 strikeouts. Like, this is just all eye pop emoji domination by Garrett Cole. Now, so how about some good news, Craig? Please. Oh my gosh, you're flooding us with the glass half empty. How about some glass half full? Well, Santiago Espinal has hit Garrett Cole pretty well in his career. Either catcher, Danny Jansen or Alejandro Kirk, whoever's the catcher on Saturday, either one of them have hit well against the Garrett Cole. Whit Merrifield, who's hot, has hit well against Garrett Cole, and George Springer, who needs to get going, has hit well against Garrett Cole. And of course, the main attraction, Slim Daddy Vladdy himself, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., owns Garrett Cole. 9 for 26 career. That's a 346 average. 2 of those 9 hits were doubles. 2 of those 9 hits were home runs. Cole, strikes out just about every other Blue Jay. Vlad's only struck out against Garrett Cole 3 times. And we've seen multiple at-bats with Garrett Cole and Vlad where Garrett Cole has literally tipped his hat to the job that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. does against him. Other side of the coin, our guy, Alek Manoah, right? Our guy, Alek Manoah. A minus 0.4 WAR so far this season for Manoah. Wow. Garrett Cole's is at 1.6. Only Shohei Ohtani is better in all of baseball. So on paper, my goodness. In 2022, righties hit 159 with 5 home runs against Alek Manoah. 159. He's completely dominant. In 2023, righties are hitting 343 with a 982 OPS against Alek Manoah. That is unacceptable and unacceptable. That's just incredible. 5 walks and 6 strikeouts. So only 1 more strikeout than walks against righties. Last season, he walked 11 righties total, struck out 97 of them. What is that? A 9-to-1 ratio on strikeouts to walks against righties last season? This season, he has 1 more strikeout than walk. It's been unrecognizable for the big fella early on. He's thrown, one thing I want to suggest here, he's thrown 48 changeups all season. They've all been to lefties. Hasn't thrown 1 single changeup to righties. Maybe that's something that could help him with righties. My goodness, the numbers are staggering. We talked about Cole's batting average against all 4 of his pitches being in the hundreds. Well, Alek Manoah's four-seam fastball is like that. Opponents hitting in the hundreds off it. But his other 3 pitches, opponents are hitting in the 300s against it. New Yankee Franchi Cordero has hit Manoah. Rizzo has 4 hits, all singles versus Manoah. Manoah traditionally has done well against the Yankees. How about Aaron Judge? Aaron Judge has hit a home run off Alek Manoah, but it's the only success he's had. He's 1 for 16 with 6 strikeouts against Alek Manoah. New York catchers are combined 0 for 9 with 3 strikeouts versus Manoah. How about we talked about the middle of the lineup with Stanton out? The Yankees are using Gleyber Torres and DJ LeMahieu in the middle of that lineup. Well, they're combined 4 for 24. 1 walk, 7 strikeouts against Manoah. In his career, he's pitched well at Yankee Stadium. 2-0 with a 1.52 ERA at Yankee Stadium. His whip, walks and hits per innings pitch, is under 1 at Yankee Stadium. Gets a strikeout per inning at Yankee Stadium. The glass half full for Alek Manoah in this game is there. On paper, it's there. If you're like me, then you're sitting the same. But the question is, all of this success, very impressive success that Alek Manoah has had against the New York Yankees, it's all been in the past. What have we seen this season? What is the current Alek Manoah bringing to the table that has us confident that that's the Alek Manoah we're going to see on Saturday? It would be glorious if the New York Yankees and Yankee Stadium against Garrett Cole provided the cure for what has been ailing Alek Manoah, but I'm certainly concerned. I'm certainly nervous about that game. Coming right up, we'll take a look at the Sunday finale, Jays-Yankees, and be sure to join me on Monday as we get you set for the series with the Toronto Blue Jays returning home to take on the Chicago White Sox. Going to be joined by Locked On White Sox to deep dive and get you set for that series. Now, right now, I wanted to mention that Pro Baseball GM is one of the cooler games I've played in a while. I always thought it could be a great baseball, Major League GM, and it turns out, okay, not all that easy. If you've had the same thought and have fantasized about managing your own franchise, go and download Pro Baseball GM immediately. The game allows you to manage every strategic aspect of the franchise. You play through seasons and you lead your franchise and fans to glory as you build your historic dynasty. In the simulation, you're responsible for hiring the right coaches and staff. You manage the team finances, scouting and drafting players. You manage through difficult personalities and injuries, and you navigate your franchise through free agency and all the ups and downs of a season. All of this in a realistic game world. Ultimate Baseball Jam is completely free to play. It's playable offline, so you play on the go as you want, when you want. Locked On Blue Jay listeners get 100% free boost to their franchise when using the promo Locked On in the game store, so make sure to check that out. To download the game, just visit probaseballgm.com, scan the code, or look it up in the app stores. That's probaseballgm.com. Ultimate Baseball GM. Start your dynasty today. Craig Ballard, Locked On Blue Jays. Let's turn our attention to the Sunday series finale as I sit here and ponder and wonder, what sort of deal do I need to make with the Devils so that the Blue Jays are going for the sweep on Sunday? How glorious would that be? The pitching matchup, oh boy, I really like it in Toronto's favor on the Sunday game. Clark Schmidt makes the start for the Yankees. He's being made into a starting pitcher this season, and so far it is not going well. Minus 0.5 WAR, so that's basically what we've seen from Alek Manoah so far this season. His ERA is just a titch under 9. Holy moly. Yankees have lost 3 of his 4 starts. 4 innings pitched is the longest he's gone this season. All told, 14 in the third innings pitched, 14 runs allowed. 14 in the third innings pitched, 14 runs allowed. Wow. 22 hits, 16 strikeouts for Clark Schmidt. So that is a strikeout per inning pitch. But the sinker and the cut fastball, both of those pitches have been absolutely dealt with by opponents this season. He throws a sweeping curve, slider type pitch more than any other pitch. Now, it's been hit as well, but that sinker and that cutter, wow, absolutely getting smoked. Now, the Toronto Blue Jays batters have limited experience versus Clark Schmidt. All told, add it all up, a mere 2 for 7. Now, this is the finale. And in the Astros finale, remember, they were facing a struggling righty in Luis Garcia, and Luis Garcia fully dominated the Blue Jays. So let's faire attention significantly better on Sunday, Blue Jays, against this struggling pitcher. Kevin Gausman on the mound for the Blue Jays. 7-run first inning at Houston. I mean, every batter squared up the ball. It was as ugly an inning as you are going to see in baseball. Now, he did right the ship. He settled in. What it looked like, it really reminded me of that Chris Bassett start in St. Louis, where it looked like Bassett was trying to do things early in the count to set up the batters, but the batters weren't just sitting around willing to play Bassett's little reindeer games, right? They were being aggressive on the pitches he was using to set up. They were swinging early in the count. It looked like Gausman was trying to establish his fastball early on his last time out when he gave up those 7 runs to Houston, and they were all over it. So from a strategy standpoint, certainly an execution standpoint, but I think the strategy standpoint is what Gausman needs to be better on this time around. Blue Jays just 1-2 on the road with Gausman on the mound. Gausman pitched at Yankee Stadium last season, 5 2/3 innings pitched, just 2 runs on 6 hits, struck out 9. That's going to work. His career at Yankee Stadium, just a 4-4 record, but a 3.54 ERA. That's not bad at all. He's allowed 8 home runs in his career at Yankee Stadium. Versus Aaron Judge, not going to be a surprise. Judge does who doesn't Judge do well against, right? Aaron Judge 9 for 24. That's a 375 batting average against Kevin Gausman. 3 home runs and 6 walks. Now Gausman has 10 strikeouts in there, so he's fought back a little bit. We'll watch that matchup on Sunday. The rest of the current Yankees, oh boy, they've also hit Kevin Gausman well in their career against them. The rest of the Yankees combined to hit 300 against Gausman. Now, we have talked about the one glass half full, certainly, for the Blue Jays and Kevin Gausman in the start, as we've looked in previous games at the fact that Stanton is out, and in the middle of that lineup right now, they have Gleyber Torres and DJ LeMahieu. Well, those are 2 batters that Gausman has dominated. Those 2 combined just 3 for 15 versus Torres and LeMahieu. Sorry, those 2 are 3 for 15 against Gausman. Weekend series in New York. It includes a Manoah and Cole matinee. Wow, should be a lot of fun. I mean, go Jays, go. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the games. We'll see you on Monday for our conversation with Locked On White Sox, as we'll get you all set for the Blue Jays returning home for a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday series at the Rogers Center against the Chicago White Sox. For now, keep it locked on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, and check out Locked On MLB. We'll close out with the words from the late, great Tom Cheek. Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life. Hello, friends. Craig Ballard, Locked On Blue Jays. Wanted to make this quick bonus video to discuss the Blue Jays as they head to New York for a weekend series with the hated New York Yankees. Want to talk about Anthony Volpe, the 21-year-old rookie shortstop for the Yankees. Tons of hype, tons of excitement. Not only is he a big-time prospect, but he's playing shortstop as a 21-year-old rookie for the New York Yankees. Like, it's a big deal, right? What I don't want Blue Jay fans to just look on the surface and see his 193 batting average, which is one home run, and laugh and think, oh, good, we're catching this guy at a good time. The opposite is actually true. We're catching him when he's at his hottest. Last 8 games, 7 for 26 with 8 walks. That's a 441 on base percentage, 5 stolen bases in there, and he scored a run in 4 of his last 6 games. He's gotten so hot, the Yankees actually have him in the leadoff spot at this point now. The other day he hit a leadoff home run, George Springer-ish, hitting 278 in that leadoff spot with a 409 on base percentage and a 909 OPS. The young man's heating up.